All right, so we have some pretty good news, folks. We have a ceasefire underway in Israel with Hamas and all that. Plus, they have started releasing hostages. They've released the first batch of hostages. I don't know how many. I didn't read that story outright. I read the headline and the first few lines. They've released some of the hostages. They haven't released all of them, which, why the fuck not? I don't understand that. Like, how the hell do you deal with terrorists like that? Like, we're going to just release some of these hostages. But apparently that's, it's better than none. I guess that's how they're looking at it. At least some of these people are coming back home and the fighting has stopped, so people aren't dying anymore. At least innocent civilians aren't dying. Like I've always said, I think they should send in special ops teams to go in and handle some of this stuff. Do your recon with your drones and whatnot. Get spies, do whatever you got to do, and send in special ops. If you have to hire the United States to do that, I think the United States would be more than happy and willing to do that. Now, I know that kind of goes against my normal non-intervention stance, because I don't think the U.S. should be intervening in some of these conflicts, militarily speaking, that is. Just like with Ukraine and like in Syria and Iraq and Yemen and everywhere. I don't think we need to be the world police. Let me know in the comment section if you think we should be the world police. I don't think we should. I think we should just take care of home, set an example for the entire world of how to run a country, and try to be happy like that. We shouldn't be trying to be the police of the world, because I personally have a problem with authority. I don't like somebody trying to tell me what to do when they have no authority to tell me what to do. I have a big problem with that. I have a very big problem with that. But in other news, apparently Andrew Cuomo is now going to be trying to run for mayor of New York. Good luck with that, buddy. And the current mayor of New York is apparently facing sexual assault charges stemming from something that happened back in 1993. So, cancel culture is now extending into our judicial system, if you will. That might sound a little bit weird, but hey, let me be me here for a second. Let me try to make some funnies out of some of this stuff to try to make some people laugh. Hopefully you got a laugh out of that, because the judicial system pretty much does cancel people. They, puts them off into the trash bin, if you will, the recycle bin or whatever. But what's up, everybody? How the hell's your day going? I hope you're having a pretty good day. I hope you're not being all too much lazy on the couch from eating too much turkey and cranberry jelly and cornbread stuffing and all that other good shit. I can't speak right now. I'm having trouble talking, so I do apologize for not being able to talk and say simple words. You might think that's kind of stupid. This guy's sitting there talking to a camera. He does this every single day. How the hell is he having trouble talking? Well, I do. I have trouble talking. I have problems recalling specific words. That's why sometimes you'll hear breaks in my stories. It's like I'm trying to think of a word like reiterate or something like that, and I just can't think of that word. It just won't come to me. And it's only certain words, and it's only sometimes. But I'm sorry. Look, I'm ranting again. Enough of that ranting bullshit, right? Let's get into today's story, because it's kind of an interesting one, especially if you live in Georgia. All right, so like I said, enough of my ranting. Let's get into it, y'all. Georgia's Supreme Court ruling prevents GOP-backed commission from beginning to discipline prosecutors. That's right. So that Georgia, I don't know if you heard the story, but Georgia came up with a commission basically to adjudicate any issues that they have with prosecutors. Like a lot of these Soros-backed prosecutors in the United States that refuse to prosecute criminals for some reason, for whatever reason. That's basically what this commission is for. Any kind of misconduct, though. It's not necessarily just refusing to prosecute. If you're doing some underhanded stuff, some corruption going on, like here in Calcasieu Parish a while back, the district attorney was forced to resign because he was making, what he was doing is people that would get put on probation, they could either do community service, or they could go buy a bunch of toys in a toy drive that we called Toys for Tots. You basically donate toys to the district attorney's office, and they hand them out, right before Christmas. But they were forcing, people on probation to go purchase toys to give to this drive, right? Clear violation of ethics. You can't do that. You can give them the choice, but they were forcing them to do it, apparently. So they got in a whole lot of trouble for that. There was the district attorney retired, the human resources guy was forced to quit, and several other chief prosecutors were also forced to retire. Yeah, and that's all. They weren't fired. They weren't locked up. They were never charged with anything. They were just forced to retire. So, yeah, there's still some corruption going on in this area. But, that's what this commission basically is for. A lot of these Soros-backed DAs, a lot of that BS, clean up corruption. And I could not be more for this. In other words, I love corruption getting the beat out of it and getting the shit beat out of it, if you know what I mean. BTFO'd, as they like to say. All right, let's get into it, though. Georgia State Supreme Court on Wednesday refused to approve rules for a new commission to discipline and remove state prosecutors, meaning the commission cannot begin operating. That's right, they shut them down. For what reason? Yeah, I guess they got to work out some details here. Let's get into it, though. Some Republicans in Georgia want the new commission to discipline or remove Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis for winning indictments for former President Donald Trump and 18 others. In an unsigned order, justices said they have grave doubts about their ability to regulate the duties of the district attorney beyond the practice of law. Interesting. They said that because lawmakers hadn't expressly ordered justices to act, they were refusing to rule one way or the other. That's right. Sounds like they weren't doing their fucking job. If district attorneys exercise judicial power, our regulation of the exercise of that power may well be within our inherent power as the head of the judicial branch, justices wrote. But if district attorneys exercise only executive power, our regulation of the exercise of that power would likely be beyond the scope of our judicial power. That's interesting. That's very interesting. State Rep Houston Gaines, an Athens Republican who helped guide the law through the state house earlier this year, said he believed lawmakers could, as soon as January, remove the requirements for the court to approve the rules, letting the commission begin operating. Which, why haven't they done that already? Like I said, I think any commission that is put in place to help get rid of corruption is a good commission. But, once again, a commission like this is also subject to corruption. But it's another check, it's another balance. And when you get so many of these checks and balances in, it gets hard to corrupt them, because you got so many angles of attack that people are working from. It's like there's so many eyes on whatever that the corruption can't really go because there's too many people, too many people to convince to be corrupt for corruption to come into play, in other words. And I have trouble talking sometimes, like I said. But I'm trying to work that out, you guys. So bear with me. Subscribe, by the way. Oh, and hit that like button. I forgot to say that in the intro. Don't forget to hit that damn like button, please. Do it right now, please. The commission has been years in the making, and now it has its appointees and rules and regulations ready to go, Gaines wrote in a text. As soon as the legislature can address this final issue from the court, rogue prosecutors will be held accountable. That's right. Hopefully they come through with that and actually do it. We would like to see this in the entire country. Now, I don't know how true it is. But I believe it was the second GOP debate. Governor Ron DeSantis said he had two, I want to say it was Dade County, whatever county Miami is part of. He said he had two prosecutors from Florida. I don't know what counties, but he said he had two of them removed from office for not prosecuting crimes. It was two Soros-backed DAs that just weren't doing their damn job, letting criminals free, and he removed them. Now, like I said, I don't know how true that is. I never fact-checked that. I never saw a fact-check where somebody said he was lying about that. And you know that if Ron DeSantis says something on a debate, there's going to be videos made about that if it was a lie. So I'm going to lean it was true, but don't take my word for it, please. Like I said, you never know. People lie all the time. Some people lie on accident. It happens, but let's keep going. Georgia's law is one of multiple attempts nationwide by Republicans to control prosecutors they don't like. Oh, that's not a very skewed outlook on it at all. Republicans have inveighed against progressive prosecutors after some have brought fewer drug possession cases and sought shorter prison sentences, arguing Democrats are coddling criminals. They are. They are definitely coddling criminals. We make laws for a reason, for a very good reason, for district attorneys to prosecute people that break these laws. When they refuse to prosecute people that break these laws, that means that my power as a voter and your power as a voter to vote in people who make these laws, that dilutes our power as voters. It basically eliminates democracy, on a chain, but it still eliminates democracy because we voted in the people that made these laws. We obviously approve these laws, and so if they're not willing to prosecute people who break these laws, then what in the hell do we have laws for in the first place? And this is very evident that prosecutors are not charging people. Like in places, San Francisco, New York, crime is running rampant. Portland, look at the autonomous zone we had in Portland. There was a George Floyd autonomous zone. I mean, what kind of name is that? It's a stupid fucking name if you ask me. But, these autonomous zones ultimately failed because there's no law and order. We have to have law and order. We have to have rules that people live by, that keep everybody safe to an extent. And if district attorneys don't prosecute these laws, then people are not safe, because you go and break a law and then the prosecutor just lets you go. What kind of message is that going to send? Oh, well, they just let me go. I'm going to go do it again because they're just going to let me go. It breeds more and more crime. As more and more criminals see they're going to be let go for these specific crimes, they're going to start committing those specific crimes even more, because why the hell not? Humans can be very bad people at times. Beyond the hurdles of the state Supreme Court approval of rules, 4 district attorneys are suing to overturn the commission, arguing that it unconstitutionally infringes on their power. Yeah, yes, it does. But you know what? For you 4 district attorneys that are suing, if you would do your damn job, you wouldn't have to worry about commissions like this. The only reason they're making a commission like this is because these district attorneys are not doing their job. Do your damn job, people. Jesus. Sherry Boston, the Democratic District Attorney in suburban Atlanta's DeKalb County, and one of the 4 plaintiffs, said in a statement Wednesday that the order shines a bright light on the fundamental failings of the law. This is coming from somebody who is refusing to prosecute criminals who break the law. Right. Yeah, that's a good argument there, Miss Boston. Failings of the law, right? You are part of that. You know that, right? Idiot. We are pleased the justices have taken action to stop this unconstitutional attack on the state's prosecutors, Boston said. A Georgia judge in September denied a request to freeze the law from the 4 district attorneys, suggesting she will ultimately rule against their lawsuit. This is good news. The plaintiffs argue prosecutors are already changing their behavior because they're worried about getting investigated. See, and that's another issue. If you have a commission like this, that's another one of those checks and balances I was talking about earlier. You're less willing to commit some kind of corruption because you're worried you're going to get caught for doing it. That's why if the more checks and balances we have, the better. Fulton County Superior Court Judge Paige Reese Whitaker found the suit is unlikely to succeed, noting the Georgia Constitution expressly authorizes the General Assembly to impose duties on district attorneys and to create disciplinary and removal processes. That is correct. Yes, lawmakers make laws, and if they want to change laws, they can amend their own constitution, right? So, yes, I would say she is correct. I mean, Jesus Christ, we have to have checks and balances like this. You can't have an arm of the government go unchecked. Even though it's the judicial branch, it's supposed to be, nonpartisan, and it's supposed to regulate the law, essentially. It's supposed to rule on laws. People bring their cases and they rule on it. They are not above the law. They still have to have a check. They have to be put in check sometimes, and that seems to be what Georgia is attempting to do, which they will succeed because they have to, but let's keep going. The law raises key questions about prosecutorial discretion, a bedrock of the American judicial system that allows prosecutors to decide what criminal charges to seek and how heavy of a sentence to pursue. The Georgia law states a prosecutor can refuse to prosecute whole categories of crimes, but must instead decide charges case by case. It applies both to district attorneys and elected solicitors general who prosecute lower-level crimes in some Georgia counties. That whole prosecutorial discretion, to me, some people seem to take that way too far. That it seems to be like that was put in place for instances where you have like an 18-year-old kid and a 16-year-old girl is boyfriend and girlfriend, and say that the girl's parents don't like the kid for some reason, so they slap him with charges for, I can't say it on YouTube. So, which is totally wrong, in my opinion. Sure, it's lawful, but when you see something like that, it's like, okay, these people were just mad, and there's nothing going on here. They're only 2 years difference in age. So, we're not going to prosecute this. That's what prosecutorial discretion is for. It's not for when somebody gets arrested with a shit ton of cocaine. It's not for the prosecutor to say, oh, we're not going to charge this guy, which is what they're doing. Commissioners have said they can't start operations until rules take effect. They voted in September not to investigate any acts that take place before the rules are approved. It's unclear how that decision might affect petitions asking the commission to discipline Willis, who won indictments of Trump and others in August. That's right. They're not going to be able to, it sounds like. Randy McKinley, the district attorney for Newton and Walton counties. Whoa, wait. There's one guy that's the district attorney for two different counties? The district attorney for Newton and Walton counties, who has been named to lead the commission, declined comment Wednesday. McKinley said he would seek to have the commission meet next week to discuss the issue. I thought he declined to comment. He declined to comment, and then he left a comment. That's weird when people do that. But I think this is a good idea. I think every state should have something like this if they don't. And it seems like it's definitely needed in places like California, Washington, Oregon, New York, Massachusetts. Definitely needed in places like that. Of course, like I say, it's needed across the entire countries. In my opinion, the more checks and balances on governmental bodies, entities, the better. It might dilute the effectiveness of certain arms of the body, but it prevents corruption. It helps to prevent corruption, because if there's too many eyes upon you, you're not going to do something out of line because you don't want to get caught. And that, to me, is very, very good news. And we are running kind of long today. I see I'm already at like 20 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and end it there. But hey, let me know what you guys think about all this. Should we have commissions like this? Should we not? I mean, are the district attorneys regulating themselves, you know, with just the bar association? Because there are ethics they have to abide by, but, you know, who enforces those ethics? You know, like I said, I believe we need a commission like this in place across the country. If you think otherwise, give me your arguments down below why we shouldn't. Let me know what you think. But that's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. I really do appreciate it, you guys. I appreciate everybody who's been leaving comments. Let me know how you feel. Thanks a bunch. I like to hear from you guys. I try to reply to all of them, especially if it's something like asking a question or making a statement that needs a reply. Essentially, I will reply to you guys. But yeah, if you're new around here, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Turn on your notifications, because every time I pop out a video, which is every single day, hopefully, it'll come up in your feed. You can know about it. And like I said, don't forget to smash that like button. It would be doing me a very big favor, and I would appreciate it a bunch. But thanks everybody, like I said, and y'all have a good one, and be positive. Peace.